Okay, I gave instructions in the dressing rooms. I want clean fight, okay? Touch glove, good luck. All right.
The moment has arrived. The world is watching. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, both men undefeated. Daraya, Saudi Arabia. The talk is over. Finally, they collide. We are underway. Ray Flores, Showtime, Sean Porter, Coach Larry Wade.
My apologies. I think we just got the game plan from J. Leon Love, the coach of Jake Paul. He said, hey, you don't take no steps back. You don't back up. Obviously, right there being rushed, he did smart, you know, to take steps back right there. But we'll see what happens. Tommy, on the other hand, he started as I expected him to, a little fast, coming right after Jake. This is what I expected from Tommy.
Tommy Fury, led by his father, John Fury. Also his older brother in attendance, Tyson Fury. Jake Paul, his brother, Logan Paul. Social media superstar, WWE superstar, also in attendance, supporting his younger brother, Jake Paul. Time being called by referee in charge, Hector Afu.
Well, the ref's going to warn them about wrestling, but I'll tell you what Jake is doing. Jake is trying to settle down Tommy. So if I grab you a couple of times, all that high energy that you came to the ring with, you don't have a chance to use it, you settle down.
Both men have predicted knockout wins under 4 rounds. There's an overhand right. That overhand right has put away the likes of Tyron Woodley, also put Anderson Silva on the canvas in Jake Paul's recent victory back in October in Arizona.
Listen, Tommy has doubled and tripled up on the jab. And then finally, Jake came over the top with overhand right. If you're Tommy, keep jabbing. Don't stop jabbing because you see a weapon coming after you. You stabilize that weapon by continuing to use your jab.
The corner of Tommy Fury telling him to circle to his right. Again, this is an 18-foot ring. It's what Tommy Fury wanted. This is a small ring. Jake Paul said no problem, meaning it's not hard to find the other man. Overhand right over the top, connecting for Paul.
I get this is gonna be a night of overhand rights because we got a lot of that from Badu Jack, and we see Jake Paul. We know him for being really heavy-handed with that right hand, and he's starting to release it with authority.
Jake Paul has that right hand. He's ready to unload it. Tommy Fury said, I'm a way better boxer. There's no way this guy can beat me. Tommy Fury has proclaimed the public has only seen 10% of what I'm capable of inside the ring.
If you look at this fight right now, you have to ask yourself, who is quote-unquote the YouTuber and who is quote-unquote the boxer? Because if you look at it, Jake Paul is showing that he is definitely a seasoned boxer. He just has to stay consistent in what he's doing and put pressure on him in the same way.
BJ Flores, J. Leon Love in the corner of Jake Paul. There's a left hook for Jake Paul. Final moments of the first round. Jake Paul using his jab as Minero, right hand to the body by Paul, back to Tommy Fury. Towards the end of the first round, the action heating up here in Saudi Arabia. Jake Paul, and then he landed a right hook right on the jaw of Paul. Round number 2 begins between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Of Fury's, all of his knockouts have come in 2 rounds or under.
Tommy received an overhand right in that first round, and he ate it really well. What he can't afford to do is keep that jab hand down after releasing it, because we know the punch right there. We know that an overhand right is coming from Jake Paul, especially in a moment like that right there.
Tommy Fury said while Jake Paul was on the Disney Channel, he was in camp learning as an amateur, getting his lumps in, sparring with heavyweights that his brother Tyson Fury was sparring with in preparation for his professional fights. Jumping right hand by Tommy Fury.
Good work right there from Tommy Fury. And just a great counter jab right there from Jake Paul. But listen to me right now. Tommy's doing a really good job of controlling this 8-foot ring. What he can't afford to do is continue to move to the left into the direction of an overhand right.
Jake Paul very relaxed Jake Paul actually told Tommy Fury, bet your purse. If you beat me, I will double your purse. If you lose to me, you get nothing. Still no word if that's official or not. There's a right hand down the center by Tommy Fury, glancing shot.
And I want to say this again, just so that it's clear, during this fight, just because a fighter is moving does not mean that that fighter is afraid to fight, and it doesn't mean that that fighter is running. What Tommy is doing is he's staying out of the reach of Jake Paul, and he's setting up his jab, and he's working off of that. That's what he's supposed to do in this fight. Outbox the YouTube.
There's a left hook blocked by Jake Paul under a minute to go in the second round. Jake Paul has sparred the likes of Andrew Tabiti overhand right, also John Pascal has been in and sparring all over the United States. Overhand right by Paul. Now they tie up. Hector Abu will separate them.
That overhand right is starting to find a home. Jake needed some kind of rhythm to get started, and now he's ended up with jab, feints, and overhand right. That'll get him back into this fight.
Both men seem to be relaxed. A stiff jab by Tommy Fury.
We call it fast chess. What does that mean? Tommy, you got hit with 2 overhand rights in a row. Calculate what happened and don't let it happen again.
We are nearing the end. Overhand right now as Fury responds with the right of his own. A left hook, the fancy shot for Jake Paul. 2 rounds in the books. The likes of Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley put Anderson Silva on the canvas in the final round, but Tommy Fury ate it well. And the question was, which man will be able to withstand the other's power, and which man will be able to inflict punishment on the other? So far, Tommy Fury has been able to eat the overhand right of Jake Paul, but now Jake Paul with the stiff jab to back up Tommy Fury momentarily.
Absolutely. So when we talk about those overhand rights that have put other fighters out, those other fighters were older. Those other fighters were a little over the hill and had some mileage. Tommy ain't got none of that. So you got a young, fresh body in front of you. It's going to take more than 1 overhand right to get Tommy out of here. Now, here's the thing. Sorry, but here's the thing. Tommy switched his game plan up. Why are you standing in front of Jake? Continue to move and do what was working for you in the first and second round.
Jab from the problem child. Now it is Jake Paul who is focusing more on the boxing instead of looking for that home run shot. That overhead right.
Yeah, that's a heck of a jab that Jake is throwing. He's got the right hand in front of his face so that he doesn't get hit. He's dipping down a little low, and he's bringing the jab hand up, and it's landing clean.
And let's also remember that Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul were stand-up wrestlers in high school in the state of Ohio, which is not easy to do and compete at a high level in the state of Ohio from a wrestling standpoint.
Guess what? You'll say, oh, that was wrestling. This is boxing. Guess what? He's an athlete. Guess what? He's a competitor. He's a real boxer. We got 2 real boxers in the ring today. Just one came from YouTube, and that's all. One came from TV.
It's the way social media is. Both men certainly polarizing figures in their own right.
It looks like now Tommy Fury is trying to slow down a little bit, but hit him definitely with a serious jab.
Coming up on a minute to go.
Yeah,
this 3rd round.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds, Tommy was punch and move. Now he's punching and he's standing still, and that's a problem. Nice hook right there from Jake Paul.
Tommy Fury's 8 opponents, 2 of them have had winning records. So Jake Paul said, you want to look at my record, who I fought? Well, who you fought? Only 2 of your opponents have had winning records.
Yeah. I don't think the record really means much. It matters what you do against those guys.
Styles make fights, an overhand right on the temple. Connecting for Jake Paul. Time being called by Hector Abu.
Yeah, Jake right there. He just tried to use his head on Tommy. Just kind of rubbed his head over Tommy's head. It's a veteran move right there.
But when you work with the likes of BJ Flores, also Jay Leon Love, and the entire team that Jake Paul has with him, you pick up a few things or 2.
Absolutely. Jake Paul's corner has all of the experience that he lacks. And that's why we've seen Jake get as good as he's gotten to this point. We've seen him improve. It's because of his corner. Really good, strong round right there for Jake Paul. He's got to pick it back up. get back on his toes and use the jab from the outside.
Round 4, this one's scheduled for 8. Logan Paul with some strong words for the Fury family.
I looked over at them. It didn't seem to shake them. No one seemed to acknowledge. That's what Logan Paul said. A good exchange right there from Tommy.
The combination by Fury.
You gotta be able to read your opponent. You can if you read, if you know what you're looking at, you can see the punches coming from Jake. You can tell when it's gonna be a jab or a lead hook or an overhand right.
So you're saying Jake is telegraphing his shots?
Absolutely. Honestly, from what I can see and what I'm reading, I know when the overhand is coming, I know when the hook is coming, and I know when the jab is coming. It's up for Tommy to not set his feet. A lot like what Biden did last fight. Tommy, don't set your feet. Keep moving and don't allow Jake to get close to you.
As Jake Paul went forward, he ate a couple right hands. Tommy Fury with 4 right hands over the course of a 15-second period. Both men predicted finishes before the end of the 4th round. We are now at the midway point of the 4th.
This is good boxing, and I see experience right here from Tommy. This is probably a Tommy Fury that nobody expected right now. What about you, Wade?
You know what, as I'm looking at him, the number one thing I'm looking at, he's waiting for him so he can catch him with the counter. And so you expect that out of someone who's a more polished boxer. So he's definitely showing us something different.
A minute to go in this 4th round. Tommy Fury looks to be very relaxed inside the ring against Jake Paul. Paul's athleticism has yet to really frustrate Fury over that time period.
I think it's the opposite. I think that I really wouldn't say Jake is frustrated. It's a good combination right there for Jake. Tommy's comfortable in there right now. Tommy's comfortable in there right now. He's in his rhythm. He knows what he's looking at. He's trying to time Jake, and he turned the tables. Again, the movement is what's giving Jake trouble. Don't stand in front of Jake and allow him to punch. Keep moving. It's okay.
Final moments of the 4th round between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. There's a right hand that hit the back of the head. Hector Afu going to call time. Throwing nearly less than half of that. 82 only landed 27, so Tommy Fury is clearly being the busier of the two.
You got to be busy. When you're in the ring with someone who doesn't have experience, you throw a whole lot at them, you know? And when you have opportunities, you throw the whole kitchen sink at them. Right here, this is where Tommy wins. You're leading with the jab, backing Jake up, and not allowing Jake to set up that right hand and come off of his back foot with a big punch.
So much for that prediction from both men, stating the fight would not enter the 5th. We are now into that round.
Hey, you know, let's keep it real. Both these guys do what they got to do. And this is a 50-50 fight. When you have a 50-50 fight, no, it doesn't go. It goes more than, yes, it goes more than 5 rounds, more than 4 rounds. Because it's 50-50. Both of these guys are trying to set things up and land the big shot.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but we need to see a separation. And that's what we may be seeing now. We need to see a separation between these guys. What's going to separate them from being 50-50? That's where it starts right now.
Jake Paul threw an overhand right. Tommy was out of the way, and then he clocked Jake Paul with the right of his own.
This is a really good boxing match. I mean, they're trading jabs, they're trading big shots. I like the pace of Tommy.
Hector Afu has deducted 1 point from Jake Paul.
From both of them. He gets it from both of them. No?
It was only to Jake Paul. To my knowledge, he just deducted a point from Jake Paul, not Tommy Fury, because he would have to go to the judges with both men. He only did it with Jake Paul. That's it. That will Tommy Fury might be
still finds a home. Even late, they made no adjustments to that.
But Jake Paul still can't afford to get overzealous. These moments where, you know, especially you have points taken, you land a big shot, still take your time because Tommy Fury can eat your shots and he can deliver some of his own.
Under a minute left here in the fifth. The deduction of a point, what does that do to the mental psyche of Jake Paul?
It's not fair. In my personal opinion, I don't believe it's fair. I don't think either fighter is fighting dirty. But what that does to Jake Paul is it makes him feel like he's going to rush. If anything, you can close in and make this a 9-9 round now.
I agree with you, Sean. I don't think it's fair either. Both guys were throwing punches at that time. Right hand to give that point away. It's a close fight.
That's a big right hand, right on the button.
That'll end the fifth round. 3 more rounds with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, both men undefeated. On to the 6th we go. There's a left hook connecting for Jake Paul.
Nice 1-2-1 from Jake Paul, and then Tommy comes right back. This is a 50-50 fight. This is what this is going to be. Back and forth, beginning to end.
Both men have connected with some power shots. There's an uppercut by Tommy Fury. The Fury corner making a lot of noise as Tommy Fury having more success in this 6th round.
And that right there is old school. Every time you touch your opponent, if your corner is making noise, that's allowing you, that's only making your opponent know that he got hit. And that's exactly what they need to do right now. Make noise. Now who's having the best of the moment right now?
A right uppercut moments ago that found its destination for Tommy Fury.
I like the jab of Tommy. I like the movement of Tommy. What I don't like is that the jab hand doesn't come back and he stands right in line after he throws that jab. Even though Jake has landed some overhand rights and they haven't put Tommy down, they haven't had a significant effect on him. Eventually it'll catch up to you.
There is a small abrasion. It's not bleeding underneath the left eye of Jake Paul. It is not an open wound, but it is an abrasion, a bruise of sorts underneath the left eye of Jake Paul. Compliments of those right hands from Tommy Fury.
Oh, I like what Jake did. He just did a double jab. It was slow. It was slow, but I like to see Jake try to use his jab more. Jab with the jabber. Give him something else to look at. Now, guess what? You need experience to make some adjustments. The corner has to make some adjustments.
I would like to see him not put so much weight on their front foot. A lot of times he overexerts himself and he overextends himself and he gets caught because he has too much weight on that front foot.
No offense, but they got the wrong ref for this fight. You have to get a ref that understands what he's dealing with. You're dealing with two fighters who are inexperienced and anything can happen. You're dealing with that. Let it happen. Look, here we go.
Now 1 point being deducted to Tommy Fury. So therefore, it is now a wash when it comes to the point deduction from Jake Paul.
Yeah, this ref is really in the way. I wouldn't say this ref is trying to be a superhero MVP of this thing, but he's just in the way. He doesn't understand what he's dealing with.
Final moments of the 6th round.
Oh, you know what? And also, sorry, but to defend the ref, he is doing what he's supposed to do. But in this particular situation, there's some things you just have to be a little more lenient with because of
forgiving. Yeah,
exactly
right.
because of what you did. Yeah.
Final 10 seconds of this 6th round. Tommy Fury, a point deduction.
Yeah.
We're on our way to the 7th.
Good work. That's awesome.
Punches landed through 6. Jake Paul 40 of 122. Fury 70 of 230. They both start off strong here in the 7th round.
If you're going to stand in front of your opponent, you have to have a second move. After you punch, there has to be either defense or more punches, or you have to be able to move out of the way. That is the mistake that Tommy is making. He punches and he stands right there in front of you. Right there. He's able to move. That's what it has to be. And for Jake, I want to see you use more jabs. Where's your combination? Where's head, body, head? Where's everything I've seen you do in the past? You got to pull all that out now.
It's a close fight between these two as Jake Paul continues to pursue Tommy Fury. Back comes Fury, right hand to the body. Back comes Jake Paul. A lot of wrestling. Let's just hope that we don't get another point deduction either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jake Paul seemed to come out with a little bit more energy this round. I think he understands the urgency. He's trying to move forward on this card.
This is what we call dirty boxing, but it is allowed. They are punching, grabbing, they are hitting on the right, overhand right by Jake Paul. It's what happens when you have guys that styles make fights, and you're going to get a lot of punching and grabbing with these two.
Absolutely, yeah, a lot of punching in between the punches.
Excuse me, I have some ice whooping to do.
Somebody throws, next person throws, next thing you know, there's a deadlock and there's a hold. Big right hands right there from Tommy Fury.
A series of 3 right hands that found their mark for the 23-year-old out of Manchester, England. Coming up on a minute to go in this 7th round. We believe it's a close fight here ringside.
I believe it's a really good boxing match. Worth the ticket.
These guys are definitely giving us everything we said we wanted. They're fighting, they're boxing, they're entertaining us. This is exactly what we wanted. They're giving the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia everything they wanted here.
And guess what? Jake's landing big shots. You don't see Tommy go down. Tommy's young. Jake's been in the ring with older guys. You see Tommy landing punches. Jake's not going down. Guess what? Tommy's been in the ring with guys that can't stand up to him. This is a good, competitive 50-50 fight. I told you guys that. I've been saying it all week. And it's about who gets who first.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the 7th round. Also to note, if Jake Paul wins, there is no rematch clause for Tommy Fury. If Fury wins, Jake Paul does have a rematch clause.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What that means is, essentially, we will be seeing this fight again should Tommy Fury pull this out.
If you look, you can see there's some blood coming down Tommy Fury's eye right now. He got hit on the left eye. That's an overhand right, landing over and over again.
One more round to go. There is a cut.
Final round of the fight. Final round.
8th and final round between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. We have this a close fight. Who will prevail here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Fury starting strong.
I thought we had some really good rounds.
Hector Bull has rolled in a knockdown. That could be significant. He did it against Anderson Silva, and he's done it here against Tommy Fury.
Punch landed. Even though you slipped, the punch still landed. You were light on your feet, you stepped wrong, you fell down. That punch has significant effect right there, and we seen it.
Late fight theatrics by the proud child, Jake Paul. If there was any doubt if Jake Paul would be able to hold his own against a boxer of his level, he has answered that with resounding fashion.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a 10-8 round at this point. I think this is going to play into the benefit. That knockdown is going to really benefit Jake Paul. Now he's got to stay on his feet and not take anything clean.
Jake Paul has stated, I rise to the occasion. I thrive in the big moments. And in this close fight, when he needed something significant, he got a knockdown against Tommy Fury in the 8th and final round.
And you can guarantee, as he's fighting, he understands how important this is. He just cannot afford to get touched at this point.
But back comes Tommy Fury.
And guess what? If you're a judge and you're doing the right thing,
night,
Yeah.
you definitely got the cost of admission taken care of right now. These guys are putting on a show for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And for the world, for that matter.
I really hate the role that the ref has played in this fight. Thought he should have been a little more lenient with some things. Nonetheless, this has been a really good boxing match. We're almost here at the finish. Let's let it breathe.
What a fight that we've seen. Styles make fights. It is clear that Jake Paul and Tommy Fury were meant for each other. We go towards the final bout. Entertaining fight here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Both men believing that victory is in their immediate future.
Tell you what, man, a lot of things are said before a fight. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You may know your opponent's game plan. You may know what they might want to do. When the fists start flying and it gets hot in there, this was truly a 50-50 match. We saw it round after round. Forget the truth, okay? The truth is, we had two fighters in the ring tonight. The truth is, we saw two fighters lay it all in the ring, and they both did what they had to do to win this fight.
So we're looking at the knockdown. That was a knockdown. Let's take a look at it again.
Let's have a look here.
He did not step on his foot. The jab knocked him down.
Absolutely. It was definitely a punch. We see the way the foot comes from underneath him right there. We do see the foot slip. Nonetheless, you got to be strong in a moment like that.
And look at Logan Paul and Team Paul erupt.
But like I said at the very beginning, it's not what people think. It's going to be a much closer fight than they think.
And this was Tommy coming back right here. And I really like the fact that he didn't give up. After that knockdown, he didn't just let that round go away. He said, I got to stay in here, and I got to win this fight. Nice, like, back and forth. A lot of clean shots landed by both guys. You can see that both guys are courageous. Both guys have chins. Both guys are in there for it all. Very impressed with both gentlemen today.
So now the fate of the winner lies in three judges as we take a look on what was a very entertaining 8-round main event here this evening. Tyson Fury there urging on his brother, just like Logan Paul was urging on his brother. Your three judges in this fight: from Belgium, Daniel Vanderlei; from Mexico, Omar Mitoun; from the U.S., Mike Ross. They have the distinction of claiming who is going to win this fight. In my estimation, I think the knockdown for Jake Paul in the 8th round solidified the victory for him.
Yep. My fault. Aerosmith Jr., everybody said it slipped. I know I didn't slip, but they ended up being the separation in that match. This knockdown right here, I believe, was the separation in this fight.
Two questions that were answered. One, Jake Paul can box with a boxer of his caliber. Two, Tommy Fury performed at this level and embraced the moment. With that, we send it up to our ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Mike Ross scores the contest 75-74. He has it for Paul. Omar Mitoun scores it 76-73 for Fury. Daniel Vanderlei scores it 76-73 for the winner by split decision, Tommy
Very impressive fight. Valiant effort by both guys. Nothing was left in the corners. Nothing was left in the gym. They laid it all out right here.
Punch dead numbers before we get to you, Coach Wade. Fury, 88 of 302 for a 29% connect percentage. Paul, 49 of 157 for a 31% connect percentage.